Hey guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo! I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Christmas 2022, the album. Dad. AF. Shimmy shimmy. Rock on, gold dust, woman. Boost! Oh, you know what? There's another song that I want to sing today. Hold on just a second. Let me get my my little friends here ready. Are you ready, friends? Okay. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. And that is dedicated to Christine McVie, who passed away this last week. A long-standing member of one of my, if not my favorite band, Fleetwood Mac. I think you guys know how much I love Fleetwood Mac so much. Rhiannon rings like a bell through the night, and wouldn't you love to love her? Players only love you when they're playing. Today we're going to talk about merch. And since we're going to be talking about selling things, let me talk about cameos for a second, okay? Because December is always my biggest month for cameos. If you don't know what cameos are, they're like private messages that you can purchase for yourself or for other people. And I always get tons of requests at the holiday season. And it was just the other day that somebody was asking me to do one associated with like a wedding. And so I gave them a recommendation based around the song, Players Only Love You When They're Playing. Beast. Something that you must always remember in a marriage. Listen, Linda, okay? Listen, when your partner gets out of line and they want to pick a restaurant that you don't want to go to for dinner, what you say to them is you go, stop. In the name of love, before you break my heart, think it over. And then you look at them and you say, players only love you when they're playing. Are you playing me? And then they let you pick wherever you want to go for dinner, right? So that's how it works. You guys are like, what is going on today in the life of Peter Monn? I don't know. I have no idea what is going on today. So we're just going to get started. I had written some notes about this video that I wanted to make the other day. And actually, I have to tell you, so the last drama video that I did was a video about Shane and Ryland and talking about sponsorships. And I did that video and it actually got a lot of feedback on it and the comments were really good. And so thank you guys for leaving me all the comments. It was really interesting reading it and seeing what you guys had to say. And it was interesting because kind of the common consensus was that Ryland and Shane will kind of do anything for money at this point. Which, you know, is so funny because when I think back, and I actually got a comment, and I want to thank, I got one comment, but, you know, several years ago when Shane did this whole Conspiracy Palette series with Jeffree Star, and I came out, and I just kind of lightly suggested at the time that I thought that it was like a cash grab, and I mean, literally, I got so many comments from people, you guys, and I've said this before in videos, but I got so many comments from people that were like, you know, like, I'm not following you anymore. I'm unsubscribing. How dare you call Shane Dawson a cash grab and blah, 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 whatever. Shane Dawson doesn't care about the money. Shane Dawson this. Shane Dawson is the most relatable YouTuber. He's so kind. He's so compassionate, which he might be. You know, but like he doesn't care about the money. This isn't a cash grab and all that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so to then go 2 to 3 years down the road and have everybody in the world, with the exception of Shane Dawson's lovers, call his Conspiracy Palette and many other things a cash grab is very interesting to me, right? And then on the heels of that, to do this video where I talked about, if you didn't watch the video, go watch the video. It's my last video that I did, where I talked about Ryland allegedly doing sponsorships for products that he doesn't even use or doesn't even know anything about, you know? And I got all of these comments from people that were like, oh, it's very, very clear that Ryland only cares about the money and, you know, that he'll do anything for the money. I mean, some people were kind of hardcore in there. Oh, this was the one comment that I got that was so nice. Somebody said in there, they said, Peter, I was somebody that said I was unsubscribing to you way back in the day, and I'm so sorry that I said that. And I was like, oh my God, that is so nice, because like in 3 years years. It's the first time I think that anybody's ever said that. So thank you to whoever said that to me. I really appreciate it. But anyway, so, but before I had done that video, I was looking at the fact that Shane had just come out with this new grower merch, okay? And I thought it was very interesting that I'm going to throw up some pictures here of the merch that he posted. But anyway, some pictures of it on Snapchat. What was interesting to me about it was that it was literally about 2 weeks before that he had come out with the Doomsday merch, okay, which was in conjunction with his series that he did with Jeffree Star. Now, I know, okay, that people can play it up however they want to play it up in Snapchats and Instagram stories and YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and they can say, oh, like Shane Dawson did on his Instagram stories and Snapchat, and say, they just sent this stuff over here, I didn't know that they were going to make it, yada, 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 okay? I don't buy that at all. I think that's complete BS. I think that's a marketing tool, and I think that's an act to be relatable to his audience. Because you would have to plan this merch out to have it up on your website to go, and Shane Dawson would have to be the one to make the final improvement of that, okay? They're not going to put things up on Shane Dawson's website and his merch store that Shane Dawson isn't going to approve of. I don't believe that, period, end of story. I just don't. And having been around the world of YouTube as long as I have now, I know enough about how things work that he would have had to approve that. The other thing is this that you have to remember with that series. The majority of that series was filmed quite a bit ago, so he knew that this Doomsday whatever palette was going to be revealed and that they were going to talk about it in that series. So I believe that the merch was being talked about months ahead, and that it was then just released with the series. And we kind of knew that, right? We knew that there was either going to be a palette, which a lot of people speculated at, or there was going to be some merch that Shane Dawson was going to tie to this series, which for me wasn't even a series. It was 3 videos of him going to visit his friend Jeffree Star, you know? And you know, it was interesting in that series because I got quite a few comments, and one of which I got as a DM on Instagram, and I read it on my video, that people said that Shane Dawson is so selfish and self-centered that he really missed the mark on that series because he so badly wanted to talk about this final palette reveal, and he was so obsessed with this reveal that he really missed the mark on what could have been a video series, and it really could have been a video series of him sitting down and doing an extensive interview and looking at the life of Jeffree Star today versus how it had been, and included this montage of videos of Jeffree Star's MySpace days, all the way through to him doing his first lipsticks, you know, all the way through to him and Nathan. Well, he did include quite a bit of footage of Nathan, which I thought was interesting, but he could have, you know, in the introduction of Nathan on his channel and shown the duration of Jeffree Star's YouTube channel, and then him coming to the point where he is saying, I'm no longer going to be on YouTube. Then it would have made more sense for Shane Dawson to be sitting in a hotel room with his fiancée saying, I'm really sad that he's leaving YouTube. And then it would have been this whole kind of like cathartic process that we could have seen the retirement of Jeffree Star, instead of it just being this clickbait title for one part of his series, which really wasn't a series. It was 3 videos that he attached together and called a series so that he could sell merch. Now, I have to say, in retrospect, I think, in all honesty, I know people aren't going to like this, I think we are to blame for Shane Dawson calling these series, okay? Like, I was really thinking about this. And the thing is that, you know, Shane Dawson did the piece with Graveyard Girl, okay? Which was kind of a series. I mean, it was him going to visit Graveyard Girl and, you know, talking to her about how she could repair her career. She's doing much better than him at this point. But anyway, maybe he should reach out to Graveyard Girl and see if she could give him some assistance. I don't know. But by the way, my question would be, was there any follow-up on that? I don't know if Shane ever followed up with her. Okay, and then there was the Eugenia Cooney series, okay? Or was that just a video or 2? I think it was just like a video or 2. And that was also called a series, okay? And was there any follow-up with the Eugenia Cooney thing, or did he just send her a palette? I think he just sent her a palette, but I could be wrong, okay? He was so concerned about Eugenia Cooney that he did this whole series about her, okay? Then there was the TanaCon sit-down, all right? I can't believe that he didn't, you know, make sweatshirts that say, that said saving TanaCon, because, you know, he sat on a couch, and I even called it out in a video, and I said, like, he didn't even put her on the spot or do it. I mean, he was so nice to Tana in that whole thing. I mean, Tana completely botched that whole, you know, conference that she put together and she was so excited about, and the whole thing was just a disaster. And I can remember when I, like, criticized it in a video, and he, like, DM'd me. He was so upset. This was before we would, like, text each other and stuff. He was so upset with me. He was like, can you not just let me have my moment on YouTube? People have been coming for me for years, and this is, like, my golden moment. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, you did a fantastic job with Tana. You fixed her. You fixed Tana. Tana, by the way, is doing just fine on her own right now. I don't think she needs Shane Dawson anymore. And I don't think he reached out to Tana anymore after that either. So then there was the Trisha Paytas series, and we're not friends with Trisha Paytas anymore, is he? They're not friends anymore. There's a lot of speculation that they're going to become friends again this year, but I don't know that I see that happening. I don't think I see that happening at all. So there was the Trisha Paytas series. Then there was I'm probably missing some of these. Then there was he did some videos with Jeffree Star. Then there was the Jake Paul series of whether or not Jake Paul is a sociopath or not. Do you remember all that? And then there was the Jeffree Star series, okay? And then the Jeffree Star series, that was when they released, you know, the conspiracy, all of it. The palette, the lippies, I mean, everything you could possibly get. And you could also get, like, the hoodies, the robes, the tumblers, all of the things, okay? You could get the backpacks, you could get into the slimes, anything you wanted to get, you could possibly get, okay? You could get the TV trays, you could I'm just joking. You get the coffee stirs, you could get everything, okay? They basically went to Vistaprint, and they just had everything printed up at Vistaprint, okay? So anyway, if y'all know what Vistaprint is. So, that was the conspiracy thing, right? Okay, then flash forward, he's like, oh, I don't know what to do a series about. I don't know what to do a series about. I don't know what to do a series. And we're like, all the people that are out there that are loving Shane are like, series. Because now, okay, what everybody has done is they've convinced Shane Dawson that he should be the next director of Netflix, which he didn't belong there, and he never did. And I think I said that at one point, and I retract that statement, okay? After revisiting some of these videos, I retract that statement, which, by the way, this is a lot of why I wanted to make this video today, is that I've been watching a lot of these commentary channels that are kind of revisiting some of these videos from the past of, like, the Frenemies episodes or Shane Dawson's videos and things, and they're very interesting to watch them in retrospect of what we know now. Very, very interesting. I might do a few of those myself, just on topics that I'm interested in, like Lipstick Gate. So anyway, I think it would be interesting to revisit Jaclyn Hill's Lipstick Gate apology video coming back. So, Jaclyn, I'm giving you fair warning to take down that video, because I'm probably going to revisit that video. Okay, so anyway, and then the cancellation happened, okay? And then Shane Dawson took a long hiatus off of YouTube, and then he came back, and then he did, if you guys remember, the Haunted Spooky episode. It was a series. It was a series, right? And that was three episodes of them going to visit that place in the woods. Now, here's the thing, okay? Any other YouTuber would just call these videos or vlogs, right? He calls it a series. It's always a series, okay? Well, that's kind of a marketing thing, because if it's a series, I can attach something to it, and there's always a sales tactic to it, right? And so with the going out in the middle of nowhere looking at spooky things, I don't remember, I Survived the Night or something like that it was called. Do you remember he released all of that merch, okay? Wait a second, okay? If you go back to the Beautiful World of Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson, or whatever that series was called, there was that moment that Shane Dawson had this total breakdown because he felt like he had been screwed out of making money on merch. I look back at this and I just think, like, the reality, first of all, the arrogance, okay? And people were like, Shane Dawson worked so hard, he deserves to be paid his rightful money. Listen, Linda, okay? we don't live in a time anymore where anybody is deserving of anything financially, okay? Unless you are sitting and standing on your feet for 8 to 10 hours a day, working your butt off, which Shane Dawson does not do. And I have a lot of respect for people that do that. A lot, okay? Because the people that are watching his videos, the people that are buying his products are the people that are standing on their feet, sometimes 15 to 20 hours a day working doubles, okay? To put food on their table, pay their rent, and make money so that they can pay their bills, and also line his money with bills, right? So this whole idea, when you go back and you watch it, that he was so distraught because he had been screwed out of how much money he should have been making on merch all of these years, you know, I just, to me, is kind of like, I don't know. It leaves a real bad taste in my mouth. Okay, so that's where the whole merch thing started, right? But then remember, if you remember from this, that's also where this whole but don't feel obligated to buy my merch. You don't have to buy my slimes. Please don't buy my slimes. You don't have to buy them. Please don't. It's so cringe. And he still does it, you guys. 2 to 3 years later, we're still dealing with it, okay? He just put it up on his community tab with the palette reveal what do you call that stuff? The merch that just came out, okay? He just put that up over there. He was like, don't feel like you have to buy anything. You're not obligated to buy it. It's so cringe. We know we're not obligated to buy it, okay? I know when I go into the grocery store, I don't have to buy a box of macaroni and cheese. You think I don't, though? Do you know what I mean? Like, we know what we want to buy and what we don't want to buy, okay? So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about this, right? And I was thinking about all of these merch sales and all this stuff that he continues to do. And I'm like, at this point, Shane Dawson's MO is kind of like this. Let me complain online about not having any idea of what my next series is going to be, and then build up this whole thing about, like, I've got all these ideas, I have all this idea of what I'm going to do, and then get everybody interested in this next series, okay? Then he puts out a subpar series, which is really not a series whatsoever. I mean, he went and saw some spooky stuff with his fiance and his future sister-in-law, okay? It really wasn't that big of a deal. But there was merch attached to that, okay? His next series after that was his fiance and himself flying to go visit his supposed best friend that he doesn't even know what's going on with his life and he never talks to, okay? That was called shade, because they're not best friends, you can tell. So he goes out there to go visit his best friend, films 3 videos, and calls it a series and attaches merch to it. So now what Shane's MO was, okay? Years ago it was, let me film several videos a week, okay? Let me be really dedicated to my audience. And then he really only, when you look at it, he really only did 1 to 3 very serious long-term series. I mean, people talk about how he's this great documentarian. No, he really isn't. He did the Jeffree Star series about the beauty world, and then maybe the Jake Paul one was kind of long, but it was like a hatchet job at best. I mean, when you go back and watch it, it's like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like he would say in the next episode or whatever, he would hint at it, and then there would be nothing in the next episode, and it was really a rather boring series. The Jake Paul series was really rather boring, and if you could have sold merch off of that, I'm sure he would have. We're all sociopaths or something the t-shirt would have said. And so, no, because his quote at that time, because I met him right before that, was, the thing about sociopaths, because I would ask him, like, what's Tana Mojo really like? And he'd say, the thing about sociopaths, and then they'd all laugh, his little, group of people. And then I'd say, well, what's Jake Paul like? Well, the thing about sociopaths. And then I'd say, well, what's Tana or Trisha Paytas like really in person? And he'd say, the thing about sociopaths is, but he called her a pathological liar too. So anyway, but that's besides the point. Because I said something, and it doesn't matter. But anyway, so his MO now, because he's not doing what he did before, and you have to remember, when Shane Dawson was consistently posting, he was making money, right? Like, off of his videos. But he's not doing that anymore, right? He's at best posting something every 6 months, okay? Well, I don't know how y'all figure things out, but break down. Like, let's look on here. I want to see where, because I haven't looked on here, I want to look and see where the Shane series is sitting at now that it's been out for like 3 weeks or something like that. Okay, the Shane series, now that, oh, hold on a second, that it's been sitting out for like 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. 2.5 million, the last one. 2.9 million and 3.5 million. So not good when he was getting 50 million. And y'all can sit here and talk to me all day long about the algorithm and views are down on YouTube. Yes, I know views are down on YouTube, okay? Views are not down 47 million, okay? They're just not. That is him screwing the pooch and really hurting his career. People are over Shane Dawson. They don't care. And he knows that, right? So what do? Well, you downsize. You move from California to Colorado. And you downsize. That farm is beautiful that they have, but I can tell you, it's not the same expense that a ranch would be in California. So they've downsized and they've, moved down. I think Ryland is probably footing the bill for a lot of it now because he's filming, okay? But then this is what Shane Dawson's business model looks like. It's a business model, you guys, okay? Go do a video, work it up that I'm going to do this video, and it's going to be called a series, and then attach merch to it, okay? And I was sitting here and I was looking at this and I was thinking, it's really interesting when you look back, when you think about probably what he makes off of this merch, okay? So let's say, okay, he's getting, let's just average this out, okay? I'm gonna go low just to be fair, right? So let's say he has, 2 million views per video of his most recent video that people watched, okay? And let's say off of that, 100,000 people buy a hoodie, okay? Let's even just say 50,000 people buy a hoodie, okay? So, now I always do my math wrong even though I have a calculator. So 50,000 people, okay, times, I have it pulled up right here. Let's see how much his hoodie is. His hoodies were, the one that sold out was $60, okay? So, I know some of you already done the math, but I ain't got my glasses on, so I can't do math. Okay, 50,000 times 60 is $3 million, okay? So he made $3 million off of one hoodie based on that series. Y'all, that's very livable income, okay? So now we know why he's pushing this merch. You don't have to buy the merch. Don't feel like you have to buy the merch. Blah, 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 which is such a marketing tactic. It's so cringe, okay? Which is why when you go over to his Snapchat, much of his Snapchat is based around merch. I went over there today. There's several things that are all about his merch. And in fact, it was interesting to me because about a week ago, he was talking about his diet lip balm stuff again. And I was like, why is he talking about this? Like, this is so interesting. Okay. Well, when you go over to his merch shop, it's the only cosmetic beauty product that is on over there. Okay. And it's for sale and it is $16 over there right now. So he's doing that. Well, one of the things that you guys have to remember, and I know that Shane is not where he is now with popularity as he was then, but do you guys remember when in the midst of all of that, he came out and he talked about Tati's pills, and he literally sold her out of pills like overnight? I mean, she like boosted through the roof like overnight in sales. Shane still has the ability to do that. Not to that extent, but he still has the ability to really sell a lot with certain of his products. So you want to talk about $3 million just on a hoodie, okay? How about multiplying that by a lip balm, a t-shirt, all this kind of stuff, okay? And then 2 weeks after that, he has a Black Friday sale, which is now since over, and he releases these grower products, okay? And the grower products just are hoodies that just say grower on them. I mean, there's literally nothing about them. I mean, it's like grower, and it's like in college kind of lettering, and it just says grower on there. And then grower association. That's it. I mean, there's nothing to it whatsoever, right? Which, whatever. I mean, everybody has merch. Have your merch, whatever. But he's so reliant on this merch at this point, okay? And that it's really about him, I think, being a... Hold on a second. I lost my notes. Did I delete my notes? Damn it, Janet! I deleted... Oh, no. The Sad World of Shane Dawson's merch. And really what it is for Shane Dawson, I think he's such a salesman at this point that it's about coming up with a cute idea that he knows his fans will buy at any expense. And it's like, let me put out some merch, let me throw it up, let me call it a Black Friday sale, which he did, okay? I mean, the merch came out like the day before or the day of Black Friday, and he called it a Black Friday sale. Well, how are you going to release products right around the, and maybe it came out, I don't know, 3 or 4 days before, but then he had a Black Friday sale, but it's like, it's all about the sale to Shane Dawson, you know? And I have to just say, you know, as people ask me all the time, they're like, you used to really like Shane. Like, what happened? And it's like, you know, for me, it's like when the veil of Oz is lifted, you know, and you kind of see somebody, it's like don't meet your heroes kind of thing. It's like when you start seeing the truth about somebody, it's hard to kind of see otherwise. And that's really what happened to me with Shane Dawson, is that I really learned very quickly, like that, okay? That he is a gossip and a backstabber behind people's backs. Behind many people's backs. People that think that he's their friend, okay? And I learned that very quickly. And I learned that he's an opportunist at best. And I learned that he really only cares about money. And he really only cares about the views and the subscribers and things like that. And we'll sit, and he knows, he can tell you, like, how many subscribers somebody has and how many views and blah, 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 blah. Go back and watch the Bobby, whatever, I can't remember what the kid's name was, that Bobby kid, those videos. I mean, he knew how many views that kid was getting and all that kind of stuff and why he hated him and all that kind of stuff. Go back and watch it, right? And they watched the Social Blade. They're sitting there, and he had Social Blade on his TV. He knows all of that stuff. I've heard from many YouTubers that Shane Dawson is obsessed with other people's views and their subscriber count. And having talked to, I know that that's true now, you know? And so that's kind of what started changing for me. What really changed for me the most was like the disingenuousness of all of it, you know? Like for me, in all honesty, like Tana Mojo's, I could care less about Tana Mojo just because she's not on my radar. She's not, for me, it's really not that, like, I have issues with her. Do I think she's the greatest person in the world? No. But do I have issues with her? I don't have huge issues with her. She's a young girl that is doing very well on what she does, and financially she's making a lot of money, and she doesn't hide it, you know? She's like on a boat with a yacht, and she's wearing, you know, like all these different label names, and she's hanging out with, I mean, she shows what she's doing, you know? And I'm not saying that just because you're doing well or you're thriving, that that's what you have to show. But Shane wants to still act like he's this poor guy and he doesn't have any money. Do y'all know how much an alpaca costs? Seriously, do y'all know how much an alpaca costs, let alone several of them, to keep them on a farm and feed them? Do you know what a farm in Colorado costs? Do you know what, go buy one of those little houses, those Christmas houses, let alone an entire town, okay? And then you want to know what he needs all this money for. It's that, right? And I just think it's very disingenuous that he leads his audience to believe that he just says, gosh, you guys, I'm just this down-home kind of guy, and I just really had it tough, and you don't have to buy my slimes, and don't buy my slimes, when really what he wants you to do is, he's a snake oil slime seller, is what he is. It's the truth, okay? You know, it's like, I look back and I think about his obsession with slime and how he got all excited about the slime, and then he started selling slimes, and then he was giving slimes away as a free, I mean, it's just, it's too much, you know? By the way, the slimes are sold out. You can't get those anymore. What's interesting to me about his merch shop right now is there's only like 8 things up there. So get ready, because in 2023, well, 2 things are either going to happen. He's either going away from Killer Merch, and he's not going to work with Jeffree Star anymore, which I can't believe that that's the case, because I believe that Killer Merch is making him way too much money. Or I believe that he's getting ready to come out with a whole new line of merch based around something. So, because there's not that much merch over there anymore. But anyway, let me know what you think. You think Shane Dawson is still the world's greatest videographer, YouTuber of the world, or do you think he has been reduced to a salesman? I know what I think. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.